And we're back with some more Factorio. And today we have plans, proper plans. It's taken me a while to get my brain back into Factorio gear. I'd forgotten just how much goes into this game. Alright, over here, what we have done is, well, our main problem today is we want to leave this planet. It's not a big problem. The problem is more that we're running out of scrap. The amount of trash on this island has gone down substantially. What we would like to do is tap into a big patch nearby. There is 13 million scrap over there. Ooh, there's 28 of it. No. We're just going to go for the close one. 13 million scrap will last us a substantial amount of time. To do that, though, this place is a bit unique. We're going to need to grab just a couple of stacks of those, and yeah, we'll take... Actually, we're going to need a bunch of these. Ooh, actually, got to handcraft a couple of things. Had to do a little bit of this is all spaghetti food, but it's basically a way to make motors. We needed the motors to make locomotives. We've also done up some cargo wagons and a little bit of the train stops and things. I put together the rail supports because they required refined concrete, and refined concrete is annoying because it requires water. But these are all done. They're just sitting there doing their thing, refining concrete. And why are you being so slow? Oh, have we actually gone through the backlog of concrete? No, we have just don't have enough logistics robots. We started not having logistics robots here just to start off, because we were trying to do it without utilizing logistics robots. And now that we've kind of come to the end of that, I haven't actually scaled up logistics robots. That should hopefully, yeah, they'll get it moving a lot faster. And I should maybe up the numbers on a few of these. Actually, no, that's supposed to hold 500. Yeah, they'll keep up with that now. Right. Anyway. Plan would be, we need to go down to this location. Where is it? Yeah, over here. 13 million. 28 million is a little bit... No. We're going over here. This new suit is amazing for just being able to hop across things. We need to get rid of everything here. In fact, yeah, this might be just simpler. Yeah, we'll take it all. And if we accidentally click on the cliffs, shift and left click to stop that. Otherwise it just leaves annoying things all over the map. Ooh! That's a lot of resources. Okay, here's the thing. We need to fit a train station on here. That's not going to be easy. And also, the train station has to have a down ramp. See, to get across this oily ocean, we have to put down, well, these things. Rail supports. But these rail supports are high up in the air, which means you have to have a ramp to go up to them and then a ramp to come down. So... and you can't put them on cliffs. We could put one right there, but we don't want to park in the middle. We want some way of mining that stuff out. Yeah, this is going to be really painful, isn't it? Okay. I think we got this. But now that I've made this, I'm thinking, why don't we just make it a one-way trip there and back? Oh, nope. That's fine. This way we can have a couple of trains. One train can pick up, one train can drop off. They are going to be stopping on a curve. This is going to be interesting. It's been a while since I've done trains as well. Can you guys... Oh! We're going to need to, put on a straight rail somewhere to let this stuff drop off. Interesting. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done trains. Or... have them stop over here, actually. This might be this... Yeah, this will be the sanest method. Then we have to figure out how to squeeze the trains in. This is going to be so messy. Yeah, let's see if this works. Oh, God. I mean, how much... This is... Yeah, this is not going to be nice. No matter what way we do this, this is just going to be a horrendous mess. So, this is my very, very bad attempt at trying to make this work. Kinda? Oh, wait, nope. You need to come down here. 1 second. There we go. Much better. Yeah, it's okay-ish. This is basically us just loading up these wagons as best we can. Problem is, power is going to keep cutting out. We don't have enough ways of harnessing electricity just yet. But there is a plan for that. What we have here is... Where is it? Ah, yes. Big electric poles. We're going to grab one right there, and then... Yeah, I checked this earlier. We should be able to... Nope. Damn it. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Now we're able to hop across this gap. And we'll immediately stick down a little lightning collector. Now what we can do is we can start, well, drawing electricity from all the way over here to start filling up the accumulators. Well, let's put a few more accumulators down over here. We've got the space, and we have been mass producing the things for just such an occasion. I think that just about covers it. We've also upgraded to the newest form of lightning collector. They're 40% efficient. The old ones are only 20% efficient, so we should be able to get more power out of a smaller area. And that should make sure that these accumulators stay charged. Now we just have to figure out how to bring this all back to there. So yeah, we're just gonna suppose head this direction. In fact, it might be better idea to start over at the base, put in the drop off, and then work our way backwards from there. Yeah, actually, that's probably a smarter plan. I think the problem we face here is the turn. Yeah, tight turns are a bit of a pain. You know what? You need to maybe be moved back a bit. Can we move you back even further? Yeah, much better. Okay, you'll be the inbound. And then we just have to figure out, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go. That should put it in about the right spot. Question is, can we actually get the train back out of here again? A little bit difficult. Actually, that looks fine. All we'll do is we'll just curve it in a bit. Done. That's an input and an output. We will have to put some signals on the line, though. And we're going to have to do an unloader. Oh, give us a minute. It's been a while since I did trains. Never mind trains that go across oceans of oil, which, on one hand, I would have found that a lovely expression ages ago. Oh, and we're out of bulk inserters. Yeah, well, something like that. We're only going to use 4 jet. Like, I am probably... Okay, no, I am definitely overkilling this a little bit for what we're doing. We only wanted something temporary, but, well, you can't help yourself. Once you get started, you know how it is. Fueling this train is actually going to be pretty easy. Reason being is we have rocket fuel that we're producing. The rocket fuel is for, of course, the rocket silo, and we're burning a bit off to generate electricity. But... done. So this thing's ready to go. We just got to clear the line on the other side. Also, maybe put in a few rail signals. In fact, I don't think it's going to require... Oh, wrong side. It's not going to require a huge amount of rail signals. Then we just have to, like... put this back this way. You know what? If we just go this straight down... yeah, it'd be fine. We don't need any T-junctions or anything. Come here. You. Yeah, I think that's about right. Done. Perfect. Of course, we still have to do the other side. 1 second. Oh, this thing's horrible. It's terrible, but it's okay. We're just trying to get back to Vulcanus, and we just want a little setup here. So, you are... what are we going to call you? Trash pickup. Alright, trash pickup. Then we want... trash drop-off over here. Nice. Somewhere in here in this horribly messy setup is the rocket fuel. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Now, you, add station. Trash drop-off. Add condition. Empty cargo, please. Then add a station, pickup, and full cargo. Yeah, done. Wait, what the hell? God damn it. I did it backwards. I just realized. I initially planned on them going around this direction, but I've done it all backwards. I'm an idiot. Alright. Little bit of a rebuild. Now it should hopefully work. Oh, there we go. Can I? Yep, we got on the train. Now, we should hopefully stop before we smash into the other train. We put in a few signals. Yes, exit. Okay. Then in that case, we can shift right click, shift left click, and we can put you on... Ooh. Trash pickup, please. Off you go. And you can come in and start dropping off that delicious trash. Okay, and done. A little bit of extra finagling, and now I think we are good, right? Oh, I don't think we have enough trash coming in here. We might have to start using stack inserters. Pretty sure we brought 50 of them with us, though I don't think we got them on us just now. They're probably up in space. Yeah, I don't think there's enough like this. The stack inserters, these things can't actually get it onto the line fast enough. Well, might help if we also upgraded everything to blue belt. We tried to make everything locally, right? And I just never got around to upgrading everything since then. Yeah, just making blue belt is a lot harder on a planet when you've just set up there. You, all the way down. Well, not all the way, most of the way down. Oh, I forgot to cover how the train works. The train comes up here, goes around, and then goes back out. This way we can actually have train track going over transport belt, which before was impossible. I didn't put a radar down there. I think we should fly down and see how quickly it's loading these up. Or if it's run out of energy already. That quite possibly could have happened. No. It just takes that long to load everything. Now, how long are you going to take? Power-wise, I think we're good. Doesn't actually require a lot of power to run all of this. I'm pretty sure we're not burning through it even nearly that fast. Alright, in that case, Event Horizon, we're going to need you to drop down 50 stack inserters. We don't keep stack inserters on board. Well then, actually that's something we're going to fix right now. We're going to need you to keep 50 stack inserters in inventory at all times. Took a little bit of rejigging of some of the outputs, but I think we're golden now. Yeah, that should keep us all the way in scrap for a long time to come. Now, one of the important things when we made this, well, I think one of the important things, was all of this extra space to stuck in the accumulators. Because we had these poles here, these big electric poles. I did some scouting across the map, and I couldn't find any other large, like that scrap there. There's no way to get a telephone pole between those two areas. You can use upgraded telephone poles, but the range on them is only a little bit more, and there's just nowhere I could see that was quite as good as this for just having like a nice close by area. We could use basic long distance telephone poles, and we're able to get to an extra chunk of land to just put down more coverage and more accumulators, which means, oh, yeah, these things are fully charged. We're good to go, and this whole thing just works out. All right then, that will keep this place running forever. Well, not forever, but for long enough that we won't have to worry about it. We just got to grab a couple of more things before we head off. Namely, we want to get our hands on a Tesla gun. Right, Tesla gun. We would like to build one of these. We would also like it to be a level 3 rare, which it could be a little bit problematic. This might take a minute. Give us a inserter here. Yeah, holmium plate. Do we have all of that? Yeah, we should have all of that on the grid. Please tell me I've got something taking the plate off. Yep. Like, we've basically hooked up, like, we've jury-rigged all sorts of little, like, chests here and there. There's iron plate coming off that section. We've got copper coming out of here. Plastic, green circuits. We got another one dumping green circuits, grabbing green circuits from here. It's just the whole place is covered in just random assortments of junk. Now you are going to produce Tesla guns, and then what we're going to do is have those Tesla guns spit out here. Done, but that's not good enough. Anything that's not a good gun, we would like to recycle, as in one of the ones we're going to be using. So, you can go... Ooh, we've already got a green one. Well, in that case, wait 1 second. We would like to filter you. We'd like to use a filter and only accept basic quality items. So what this allows us to do is take the Tesla guns that are just the basic ones. How do we get 2 uncommons already? The basic ones will get shunted into the recycler, and then the output will just get dumped right back into this machine to make more of them. Oh, we actually saw that go up there. To 30 holmium plate, 33, yeah. So basically everything that goes in here gets trashed and turned back into, well, more guns that will hopefully give us a blue eventually. If we get enough greens, what we'll start doing is recycling those as well. We can, I don't know, recycle them into a chest and then use them to maybe start a level 2 to level 3, hopefully. We'll find out. We'll give this a little bit of time. Oh, and we should probably put together some ammo while we're waiting as well. This is fairly straightforward. All we need is capacitors, plastic bars, and electrolyte. We've piped some electrolyte over here just to take care of that sort of stuff. Could we make these rares? I don't know if it makes any difference. You know what? Let's see if this ups the damage of these. The ammo seems to be what's responsible for the damage. The gun, I think bonuses to the gun just increase its range. More range is always better. Hey! We actually got a blue one. Done. And in that case, you can stop. We don't need you anymore. Oop. You know what? We'll just leave the Tesla guns on. Like, we'll leave the uncommon ones. We don't care. Now, what did this do to the ammo? Okay, so max jumps 12. Max jumps 12. Fork chance increases. Damage goes from 39 plus 63 to... Wait, from 30 plus 63 to 39 plus 81.9. That's a pretty decent jump. But it takes too long. I think I'd prefer to have more bullets than less, but more damaging. Yeah, I'm thinking speed modules are the way to go. Sorry. Okay, so this is what a Tesla gun looks like. We basically have lightning blasts now. Excellent. Okay, maybe don't hit our own stuff. That was stupid. That was stupid. That's fine. We have some repair packs. It's grand. Oops. No harm, no foul. Alright, we're just gonna load up on ammo. There, we got 100 ammo. We can chuck that into a rocket, and we'll take that with us. I am not sure if we'll find a use for it where we're going, but I'd like to bring some along. Okay, ammo exported. We've grabbed about 40 of these electromagnetic plants. They should be useful for us in the future. And when we come back, we should have plenty of substations and lots of... Where is it? These things. Accumulators. We have loads of accumulators to place down, so we should be able to expand our power grid. And enough rails and things to actually get some trains going. Actually, extend that a little bit. A few more rails wouldn't hurt. At the same time, this thing over here is going to churn out a bunch of these electromagnetic plants. And we are going to use those to, well, ship some of them back to Navis. First, though, let's hop on board, and we're going to travel to the space platform. Yes, thank you for everything. Bye-bye now. Okay, all landed in. Good to go. There's our... Yeah, we got 40 electromagnetic plants, and we even took the quality modules with us. Better to have them. I mean, I figure we'll probably get some good use out of them. Where are we on the space map? We're over here at Fulgora. Actually, 1 second. I have it advised. Save the game, and then just do a dry run to... Where is it? Aquilo? Just to see how badly you fail. I figure, why not? Okay, game saved. Let's go straight for Aquilo. We're on our way. Like, does the asteroid density increase? Is that what messes you up? I mean, it seems about normal. I suppose we're not far enough there. Actually, this seems like a long run, is it? Yeah, our ships are not superbly fast, but they're mainly meant as cargo haulers. Alright, let's see what happens. Wait a second. Why are you not dying? That thing just soaked an absolutely gobsmackingly large... Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. That was rather uncomfortable. Okay. Oh, okay. A lot of comments are making sense. You need rockets. That's it. You need rockets. They said put rockets. Or you can... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, my God. It finally stopped. Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it there alive somehow. Oh, yeah, that's going right there in the middle. Well, it's okay. We didn't need any of that. Okay, so at least we know what's wrong with going to Aquilo. Okay, since that is known, I think our next stop should instead be Navis. Then we'll do a quick restock of some resources, grab ourselves some stack inserters, and then we're going to head on to Vulcanus. And that place, Vulcanus, is going to become our main base of operations. It's going to be our main science producer, our main mall and all that. But we don't want to make anything too excessive because we still have to go to Aquilo to get our hands on legendary quality modules. Once we get our hands on legendary quality modules, it'll actually change the build quite substantially. Also, captive biter spawners. We need both of those. We encountered a few minor complications getting here. A few things to note. When you're saying pick up stack inserters, we've got them stored at Navis. However, we have to tell it to import from Navis and always keep 50 in the inventory. Also, when it came to the electromagnetic plants, we brought 40 with us. It takes you only bring 5 per rocket launch, so that was a lot of rocket launches to bring them up with us. And then we immediately dumped them all off at Navis, because Navis has a thirst for those. Yeah, if we go back to Navis over here, we have set up a requester chest over in the corner with all the rest of our mush. Basically to store 800 electromagnetic plants. And then if we go to the Earl King Fulgora, its job is to carry 20 electromagnetic plants back with it, and drop them off at Navis. Yeah, and we've got a 50-second inactivity countdown timer, so if there's no electromagnetic plants left, or there's not enough available rocket power... Let's get into Fulgora here for a second. It's fine, it's got time. He's still producing those at speed. Where is it? At some point it's gonna fill up with uncommons and things. You know what? Take a second lane. Go nuts. We've got the scrap to feed it all. We even doubled up, put in 2 lanes of scrap just to make sure this thing keeps flowing. I kind of actually really liked Fulgora after doing it for a while. I'm thinking there's some fun things you could do if you came back here. There is a lot of... You know what? We'll worry about that later. For now, we want to drop to the planet. It's time to go back to Vulcanus. God. Been a while since we've been here. This time, though, we're actually starting... We're going to build up a proper base. A decent-sized one. Up until now, we've basically been just trying to push through, explore the new stuff, see where it's going to get us, that type of thing. Ooh, I forgot the tank is here. Alright. And, oh, this is the amazing thing. Now that we've got this armor, look at this. We can just float over the cliffs. We don't have to worry about the cliffs slowing us down anymore. Oh, amazing. As well as that, this place has incredible solar power. If we check on the space map, say Navis here, solar power in atmosphere is 100%. So if you're inside the atmosphere, you get 100% solar power, which means solar panels work as you would normally expect. Vulcanus, if you're inside the atmosphere, it's 400%. You get 4 times as much power out of your solar. However, day and night cycle is 1 minute and 30 seconds, so 45 seconds a piece or something like that, or between night and day, I'd have to double check it. Day and night cycle here is 7 minutes. So what we need to do is, I think we're just going to go with solar. There's other ways of getting power here, but I think that might be our best bet. And we're probably going to put in a big base over here somewhere, namely because there's just lots of wide open space. Give me a minute to scout out some locations. Okay, small problem that might require a little bit of danger. We have most of the resources we need around here. We've got coal, we've got calcite, we've got sulfuric acid. In fact, we've got even more coal. The big problem is tungsten. There is no... the nearest tungsten that we've actually cleared is, well, these locations, which is far away. So I think what we have to do is clear this area. And that's going to involve killing not a giant biter, not a giant worm, but at least a medium-sized one. I think our best bet is probably the tank. Oh my god, how much ammo we got left in this thing? That should hopefully be enough. We basically have to go up to this section here and clear it. This could be tricky. Actually, 1 second. I want to go back and get some cliff explosives. Cliff explosives will make our lives a lot easier. Ooh, look at all of that delicious cliff explosives. I'll take all of them. Yeah, give me 2 racks of that. Where did we dump all our stuff when we went back in the rocket? Yeah, that kind of looks like the normal mess I'd carry around with me. Oh, look, poison capsules and everything. Yeah. I've done some testing on the side on killing giant worms, and from what I can tell, nukes. Your best bet is nukes. Unfortunately, nukes are incredibly expensive and hard to get here at the moment. Your second best option is tank. Tank with armor-piercing shells, or tank with... oh, is it just regular shells? That's our best hope. So we're going to give it a go. Hopefully we can clear this worm. If we can't, we'll have to come up with a workaround, or we're going to have to import tungsten from very, very far away. Ooh, there is like so much open space here. Ooh, you know what? Let's try out a little something. Yeah, see there? Gets rid of all of those nasty cliffs. So, if we're fighting the worm around a bunch of cliffs, what we can do is blow up the cliffs before we get into a running match. We're basically going to have to shoot it in the face and keep running away as best we can. This is going to be difficult. Alright, let's maybe scout the area out first in the suit before we start irritating the worm. Actually, let's make sure there's enough tungsten here to warrant it. How much we got? 2 million? Ugh, doesn't feel like a lot. I mean, down here we had 3 million. It's not. Yeah, it doesn't seem to come in massive deposits, does it? Yeah, what are you? You're a medium demolisher. Okay, a medium demolisher, we have a chance. Ooh, more tungsten. Getting it out of here is going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, this right here is a big demolisher. They have 300,000 hit points. Yeah, and their regen factor is just ludicrous. That's another big one. Damn it. Hey, I'll go find you a medium one, but a medium one's 100,000 hit points, which means if you can kill a medium, you still have no hope of killing a big, if it takes you any length of time at all. The regen on all of these demolishers is just so enormous that unless you bring absolutely gobsmackingly large amounts of firepower to bear, and by that I mean nukes fired in rapid succession, you're just not going to kill them. I found videos by people going, oh, you use the discharge defense and stuff like that. I did some testing with the discharge defense. It's okay against a small one, but it won't even kill a medium-sized one, never mind a big one. After doing a lot of scouting here, we can see that tungsten, the closest by area to this big flat piece of land that we want to build on is this stuff here. We have to clear this out. So let's hop back to the tank real quick and see if we can't clear out ourselves a medium demolisher. This is a medium demolisher, 100,000 hit points. They're still incredibly tough, and don't mess with my tungsten. I need that. That's the one we're coming back to kill. We might want to... Ooh. We're going to want to draw it out to somewhere where we can actually fight it better. It's just... yeah, we need space. So that's why we brought a whole bunch of cliff explosives as well. If we get caught or trapped on rocks or something like that, it could be fatal. So maybe... What am I doing? Let's go grab the tank, and then we can clear out his space. Depending on where Shia-Lud ends up. Oh, there they are. Hey, this is actually a pretty good area to fight. We're going to need a bit of space, and we're going to need, like, yeah, the ability to take out a bunch of these cliffs. We're going to start running, I think, probably this direction. We want to run into a clear space. Okay, I think we are just about ready to engage. We're going to run that... 1 second. That looks suspiciously like a cliff. Now let's... oh, actually... turn off our roboports. How many construction robots we got? Oh, we got loads of construction robots. How many shells we got? 55. 55's not a lot. Okay, we need to make sure every single one counts. Okay. Now, aim for the face. Okay. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. Yep, yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Yes, yes, yes. Shoot him in the face. Shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. How many we got left? 23 shells. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. And let's clear that entire segment, which means we can now mine that tungsten ore in peace. Oh, roboport. Excellent. And it repairs up the tank. I never even checked. What do we got in this tank? I just assumed past Francis kind of knew what he was doing. Yeah, that looks okay. Couple energy shields, some exoskeletons, portable fusion. That's not a bad tank. Alright. Now it's time to set up shop around this area. A lot of coal. We're going to need that coal, though, to make a lot of petroleum products. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting build. We don't need a lot of magma to run any base. Basically, you can just throw down a couple of pumps. So I figure we build it around this. There's like a pile of magma right there. And once we blow up the surrounding cliffs, this place will make a perfect base area. Yeah, this place is a mess, the original base, but hey, we've got plenty of foundries here, so we can, well, use those. We've also got plenty of the improved mines. We've also got plenty of cliff explosives, just to clear out a nice area for ourselves. And we're going to have to include all of this in the new mall we're putting together. Also, we have lots of armor-piercing ammo, because I remember now, we killed the first ones with mounds of turrets before we got around to using the tank. And the reason we're coming back here is this place is just so easy to make stuff. Like steel. You can mass produce steel at speed here. Also, iron plate, mass producible, gears, pipes, iron sticks, all of that stuff. Super easy to produce. Even copper plate. So all of the basics, and they all come from magma, which is basically a renewable resource. You just pull it out of the pond, done. It does produce dirt, stone, so the stone we'll have to dispose of, but that's just minor things. Let's hop back in our tank and go stake at our location. So, yeah, it's kind of weird going in building. Like, I have no real blueprint in my head of what I'm supposed to be doing. That's a very unusual feeling in Factorio. Normally you know, what the hell is going on here? Normally you know, like, roughly what you're going to be doing. You know, you have you've done it so many times before, there's like, oh, it's going to generally work out this way. Anyway, over here we have molten copper, over here we have molten iron, and I figure if we need more, we just extend it on that direction, and if we need more, we extend it on that way. So, calcite's going to come in on this yellow line, so the calcite mixes with the lava we're getting out of here, and then, wait, is that lava or magma? What's the difference? Yeah, that's it. Magma is molten rock found beneath the Earth's surface, and lava is magma that has erupted onto the surface. So, well, I mean, that's technically not beneath the surface, but I mean, how deep down are we going? Or, like, is it still magma when it's like just, if you remove the soil? Yeah, you know what, it doesn't make a difference. What we need to do is, we need to put together something to process these things. Ooh, yeah, like, over here, we've thrown together a bit of a solar blueprint to try and get ourselves some solar power. This can keep this whole area quite well powered, so what we need to do is basically build up something that builds solar power, like solar panels, accumulators, also builds the basics that we need to keep expanding the factory out. So, you know, just the normal standard stuff you do in a starter base, just, you know, much later. Okay, brutally simple setup. Down wood. I'm going to try and keep it in line. We're basically just going to rely on logistics robots to do most of the heavy lifting, because that's just easier that way, isn't it? Now, iron ore comes to here, pops along the section that gives us iron plate, steel plate, iron gear wheels, and iron sticks. Over this side, we're just going to end up with copper. Done. So this provides the raw liquid that gets turned into copper. This provides the raw liquid that gets turned into iron. We're going to be expanding this bottom one out, I'm pretty sure. Now, all we need to do to make it work is plug in the calcite. Oh god, that's slow. Oh my god. You guys sure you don't want to take a break, maybe, or... No? I'm willing to burn blue belt. We don't have a lot of blue belt, but I'm willing to burn a bunch of it just to move you along. Jesus. Go. Come on. This ain't an ice cream social. Oh, we should probably actually put inserters on this. Alright, you can go there and there. And you two are already set up. Boom. This thing also produces stone as a byproduct. The stone gets spit at the back, and it gets sent over here. Huh. We might need a second one of those. Yeah, you can go there. That is actually quite a substantial amount of stone. Yeah, worst case scenario, we can start getting the logistics robots in on it later. Which reminds me... There we go. Okay, so now we have gears, iron bars, we can make them. We can also make iron plates, steel, copper, all of that is flowing. So, maybe put together a little mall. Where is it, though? Probably down here a bit? Or we're going to extend this on. I mean, the plan would be to say this was to make more iron plate because you need it. You turn that around, and then you would just do something similar on the other side here. So that would then spit that out. Done. Question is, do we have enough... Yeah, we got enough molten iron coming through. Oh, jeez, they're full. Full. How are you doing? Just getting drained, but it's going fine. So all we'll do is we'll extend this on, add on more and more for the iron ore. The copper we probably won't need that much of, at least to start. And then down here we'll put in a little bit of a mall while this thing slowly grows and extends. I totally blanked you can make pipes out of this stuff as well. Unfortunately, to make the ground pipes, we're going to need a little bit of inputs, but that's okay. That's why we brought along a bunch of these chests with us. They give us a requester chest. There you go, and you can go right about there. Done. And you will now require 1.2k pipes. A lot of pipes. I don't think you need that many, to be honest. Let's just chuck that down to say 400. 400 should be a reasonable amount of pipes that you need to complete your tasks. All of these get a 50% production bonus as well because of the native inbuilt production bonus in these things. And I'm thinking, why not? We'll check. We need to scale this up. So I need to stop thinking in small terms and think in big terms. Red transport belt is actually very simple. You make the yellow out of iron gear wheels and iron plate, which, yeah, we got a bunch of them over there. And then the red stuff is just iron gear wheels and yellow transport belt. And we just put them right beside each other. We're going to need a lot more logistics bots for this, I'm pretty sure. A lot more. Making green circuits? We're still using logistics robots. This is going to be so inefficient. But it should hopefully not require much brain power to set up. And also we're using, well, these things, these electromagnetic plants, which means we get 50% more electronic circuits out than we put in because it comes with an actual built-in bonus. Also, it's quite fast. It's got a crafting speed of 2. And this guy seems to be keeping up as well. Excellent. In fact, maybe we should put in a second one. Why not? And we even have iron plate being produced right here. Might want to up that iron plate production another scooch. And iron plate production increased. That's what I love about this. It's like it's just so expandable so quickly. Run into a little bit of a bottleneck? Who cares? And done. In fact, let's copy that over. Put in some more copper wire. In fact, keep that copper wire closer. You need to go to about one more? Yeah. Finished. And that should give us plenty of green circuits. Right, so with green circuits, iron plate, copper plate, steel, gears, pipes, and iron bars, we pretty much can make a whole bunch of low-end stuff. Ooh, actually, I think these guys can make... let me double check, but I'm pretty sure they can make solar panels. Yes, they can. 50% productivity bonus. Steel, copper, and electronic circuits. I think that's the perfect place to make them is right here. And more logistics. I am really going to have to make sure... Actually, we're going to prioritize building logistics bots shortly, I think. You, input, output, right-click, left-click, and you need to go about there. And done. Ooh, that should start giving us solar panels. We'll limit that. Don't want that going a little bit too nuts. Okay, I need to think though. What's going to start running out first? How? So I'm thinking accumulators, logistics robots. We're going to need a whole bunch more of those to keep this whole stupidity running. So power, logistics robots. Once we got those two down, we can sort of expand this out a lot more. We can always import more of these electromagnetic plants. We already have a production facility down below for these foundries. Yeah, I think we can do pretty good here. Oh, oil. Yeah, that's going to be the killer, isn't it? We're going to grab a quick oil refinery here, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be nightmare fuel. Yeah, let's see. Coal liquefaction, simple coal liquefaction, oil processing, basic oil processing. So coal liquefaction, I think, is where we're going to be at. Simple coal liquefaction gives us a bit of heavy oil to start, but once you've done that, you're going to want coal liquefaction the whole way through. So 10 coal, 25 heavy oil, and steam spits you out 65 heavy oil, 10 light oil, 10 petroleum oil. Nice. Then you recycle the heavy oil back in. We're going to need to use this a bunch because we're going to need to get a... Where is it? We are going to need lubricant for express transport belt. We're also going to need lubricant for turbo transport belt. At the same time, no, you have nothing to do with motors than you. Can you make motors? No, you can't make motors either. In that case, I'll check down this guy. To build logistics robots, we're going to need flying robot frames and 2 advanced red circuits. The advanced red circuits, require plastic, which requires petroleum and coal. The flying robot frames require batteries and electric motors, and well, a bunch of other stuff, but the electric motors require lubricant. Yeah, that's why I definitely needed that lubricant. I knew my brain wasn't completely lying to me. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. It's time to design the oil refinery setup, and of course my brain is hurting again, but Navisir, we went with the abomination design. This is one where you pump all of the liquids into one pipe, and because of the way it's all instantaneous now, you could just sort of filter it out, and it still works up to a... unless the throughput starts to get absolutely ridiculous. It's actually quite a nice way of doing it. We might try and avoid doing that this time, if at all possible, but that just leads to other problems. You'll notice here all of this is speed beaconed to help speed it up because, well, you want to cut down on space requirements, and it definitely allows you to scale up a lot better. So here, let's see, we have actually isolated these things. With Shift-H now, you can flip the outputs of things, which is just such an amazing quality of life thing. But yeah, and what we've done is we've hooked up the petroleum on one layer, the light oil on the second layer, and then the third layer of the heavy oil. And that seems like that would be a fine, easy way to do things. However, the moment you try and start putting in speed beacons, you can't. You basically need to be like speed beacons only reach 3 tiles. So you can only have 2 tiles of stuff in front of things. So we would need to get rid of this last layer at least. And then that would allow us to put in the speed beacons. Where would you put them? Say there, like that. Something like that. And that way you can get the maximum boost on them later. However, that does mean you are required to somehow squeeze in everything here in a 2-tile wide gap. Which makes things more interesting. Especially considering, once you've got these in here, you sort of want to put your chemical refining plants... your chemical plants. These things, 1, 2, these things take your outputs and re-refine them. So you can take your heavy oil and turn it into light oil, or your light oil and turn it into petroleum. And you would like to keep it in range of these as well. Unless you're really just wasting power, which you totally could do. Totally could. In fact, maybe we will, just to simplify our lives. Nah. That just doesn't sound right. So what you normally end up doing is... squirreling some of these out the front to then immediately get processed. So something like, light oil maybe? Or heavy oil? Okay, the laziness got me. Instead I just, well, dumped a bunch of piping in and made a giant storage section. I figure we'll store it all up, then we'll crack it and do whatever we want with it. Namely because, yes, laziness, absolute laziness. Though we'll leave one speed beacon here, or beacon here, to remind us that we're going to put that in at a later date. Now we have to crack and all of this stuff down. You know what? You there. This actually feeds over to our solar, so we want to make sure this stays up and running. Okay, this is not as bad as it looks. It's fine. I think. Like, the thing is, we actually need to get steam to run this whole thing. To get steam, we need sulfuric acid and calcite. So you take your sulfuric acid and your calcite, and you combine it together, and that gives you steam. And since... the map says we've got, where is it? Yeah, sulfuric acid over here, and the calcite over there. That's all going to come in from the left side. It's going to stream in here, and then we're going to pump it into this. It'll give us our steam. And then the steam will dump into these tanks and then pipe back to, you know, make ourselves that the power, or the oil refineries work. Some of that steam will also be pumped forward into here so that we can condense it into water. And the reason we need that water, it's not finished here, is so that it can go get pumped into the cracking, so that we can crack the heavy oil into light oil, and then we're also going to need the water to crack the light oil into petroleum. And then we're going to hook it all up to the storage tank so that we can control the flows and make sure we have space and enough of everything, I think. I'm not quite finished yet, but I thought I'd explain that before I got even more lost. It's fine. And we can also speed beacon these and sort of extend them on vertically? Yeah, well, I suppose, yeah, it's vertical in this instance. Normally it'd be horizontal. You know what? It's fine. We are getting closer to being able to turn this thing on. We have coal just about ready to be plugged in. This here, in fact, let's just chuck it on now, why not? I was going to wait till we had a few more pieces in place. But here's a whole bunch of heavy-duty mines doing coal. It's all going onto a red transport belt, but because this thing can stack up to 4 times... Why have you stopped? Ooh, nope, 1 second. There we go. Slight mess up on my part, but done. Yeah, excellent. That goes all the way up here. That's going to get fed into these, and that gives us the coal, which will then get converted into heavy oil, light oil, and petroleum. However, we still need to get the steam, and the steam requires us to get that sulfuric acid and some calcite. Calcite we got loads of down here, but the sulfuric acid will require us to go over this direction. Oh, and the solar farm thing is actually up and running pretty good, and we have so much power coming in from this, you don't have to worry for now, and we can always put down more of those. Once we get the oil flowing, that gives us batteries. Actually, batteries only require sulfuric acid. We can just literally straight up pump that stuff out of the ground. Ah, I'm an idiot. I probably should have just done that straight away. You know what? Doesn't make a difference. We are going to start plugging this stuff in. Yeah, you can go that way. That truncated chimney is in the... Well, never mind. The truncated chimney is no longer in the way now, is it? Yeah, you can all go. Nope, there's one over there. Perfect. How much oil, or how much sulfuric acid is that is the question. 38,000% efficiency, and a 4,900 over there. Yeah, this should be more than enough to keep us going for a long while. And as well as that, if we check around... Ooh, we'd have to actually clear out a few new areas. That one looks good. That looks like a lot of sulfuric acid. I'm pretty sure that's just a medium-sized Shai-Halud, so all we gotta do is get ourselves some more anti-tank shells, or get some more tank shells to take care of that. Yeah, I'm liking this location. Alright, now all we gotta do is pipe all of this stuff together. That's, this might take a minute. Okay, I just plugged in the sulfuric acid, and oh my god, it's instantly full. Like, that was... I thought we were gonna have time to actually see that fill, but no. Okay, then, oof. In that case, let's be real careful here so we don't accidentally plug this into something we shouldn't. Yeah, something like that. And... Boom. Oh, yeah, we got sulfuric acid. Also, not having to make sulfuric acid is going to make making several things an awful lot easier. I'm pretty sure that's required for plastic as well, isn't it? Actually, no, that's petroleum. Never mind, it's the sulfur requires petroleum. Not going to need that anymore. Wait, no. We are going to need to make sulfur, but sulfuric acid is required to make batteries. What else is sulfuric acid required for? Turns out this stuff is required, or sulfuric acid is required to make carbon, which is basically just taking coal and turning it into carbon, the stuff you find in space. It also makes the tungsten carbide. You're not listed here, where are you? Ah, never mind, here it is. Tungsten carbide, 2 tungsten, 1 carbon, and sulfuric acid. So, it does have some uses. Oh, and blue chips. Blue processors also require sulfuric acid. But we don't need to spend any petroleum to make that, which means all the petroleum is going to be going on plastic. Interesting. You know what? Don't care. It's just we haven't done a big build in a while, so it's going to be weird. I've never done a big build in Vulcanus, so it's going to be weird to see how this shakes out. Alright, first up, though, you need calcite. And once you get your calcite, we are good to go. We're going with red belt for this, probably. And you should probably go like that. Perfect. And before we plug that in, we should figure out how we're going to do this. I want to make sure that this is basically expandable, so we can do something like that and expand it out effectively. So, yoink and yoink. Just want to make sure we leave space for the inserters. One goes there. Yeah, perfect. So that should work. Let me just get rid of that. Then, give us... God damn, why is the inventory so messed up? I need to, like, fix that later. We need to get rid of all the yellow belt and switch over to reds. Namely because we've got all of as much red and yellow stuff as we want. So we're going to use red or better. We do have blue, but that's all coming from space. Okay, this should give us steam. The steam should immediately get turned... Well, a bunch of it will get turned into water. Okay, yay. Steam. Steam goes over here. Needs to about 1,000 before we get water. Other steam goes over here. Excellent. Now, these things have been configured to not turn on unless there's like a 10k backup of heavy oil. We haven't created the lubricant loop yet. We're going to need to make lubricant as well. We'll probably stick that on somewhere near the end. But that's a big chunk of the oil started. Just need to feed in some heavy oil to kickstart the whole process. Which reminds me, let's see. Leave that there. What's simple coal liquefaction? Yeah, calcite, sulfuric acid, and coal. That can all be arranged. Let's see. This actually turned out to be rather easy. It took a minute or so. Like, heavy oil will come out of this once we get it hooked up. That heavy oil will, okay, if we hover over here, should go all the way around to the back and start the not simple oil fracking, whatever. You know what I mean. So fine, give us some calcite. Give us some power actually down here as well. We'll put you right about there. That's grand. Now all we're missing is coal. We can just hand feed some of that. In fact, you know what? Give us a little bit more. There you go. That spits the heavy oil out the front. Heavy oil is going to go around the back. Not enough just yet. Done. Okay, that should mean heavy oil should start filling up. A little bit of petroleum, but I want to see that heavy oil go up rapidly. 50. Yeah, I think that's just measuring the amount of oil in each tank, or the tank it's connected up to, which is good, because we said it's 10k, which means it should be about a little bit over 30% full, but 40% full? Yeah, something like that. We can get rid of these, we don't need these. And that can go. This should also be expandable as well. Yeah, done. I think that's got it started. Yeah, these things are taking their sweet time, though. Yeah, they got plenty of heavy oil. It's just going to take time to spin up. And you, we are done with. You have added everything you needed to this. All right. Now, why are we doing this again? Yeah, that was it. Logistics robots. So we need to put on one extra section, and that section will be for lubricant. So probably over here. So we've got sulfuric acid to steam, steam to water, heavy oil to light oil to petrol... No, that's supposed to be light oil to petroleum. Damn it. Much better. Light oil to petroleum. And then over here we can stick in... right there. And right there. Yeah, perfect. We'll stick in our little lubricant factory. Okay, I'm kind of curious to see how our accumulators are taking this. I've basically chucked in a bunch of speed beacons and productivity modules on our basic oil setup. And... oh, yeah, no, it's done. Never mind. We have plenty of wiggle room left. In which case we should really start, maybe a few speed beacons and productivity modules would not go astray here. And I think that's it. It's expandable. Like, not infinitely. We'll start running into our base here if we push down too far, but we're getting to the point where we need so many of them, we've probably expanded beyond what this initial base thought at what was going to be. But I do like that it's reasonably neat. Despite just sort of throwing it together on the fly, we've got our sulfuric acid, steam, water, petroleum, heavy oil, light oil, and lubricant, all in nice, neat tanks. Okay, but how much lubricant we got? Yeah, we got the lubricant coming in now. We've set the lubricant to turn on if the amount of heavy oil in the tank is 10k or higher. So if there's more than 10k of heavy oil, that turns on. However, we don't crack the heavy oil unless it goes up to 20k. We encountered a problem on Navis. Where was it? Yeah, with our petroleum setup. When we don't use the petroleum, what happens is all the heavy oil gets expended. So we need to come back here and make some changes. See, what's happening is, since we are no longer making science here, namely what we're focused on is making rocket fuel, low density structure, and some processing units. And that puts a massive strain on our light oil. So what happens is our petroleum backs up because we're not using it. Instead, we're using all the light oil. And normally what happens is petroleum's your bottleneck. Now, I'm pretty sure this has happened to me in the past, and I've just sort of forgotten again somehow. So what we're going to do here is delete those two tanks. And then we're just going to replace them. Yeah, it's terrible. What we need to do is come back and set up some automation so that when the heavy oil bottoms out, we start actually consuming the petroleum and turning it into solid fuel. It's very inefficient to do it that way, but it gets rid of the petroleum so that everything can keep running. There's a couple of things I would like to do here first. One is accumulators. I'd like to chuck down a bunch more accumulators to finish out this solar plant so that that message goes away. That is mainly what I want to get done right now. So, batteries, you say? Easy peasy. All we do is we chuck these guys... Ooh, could you guys take productivity modules? No, it's fine. We just need a few batteries. A little bit of battery production there. Then over here, you can go right about there, and you're too close. Get you back a bit? No. Damn it. Need to do some minor rearranging here, I think. And done. Minor readjustment, and now we have accumulators being produced, which means power is sorted. We have as much red transport belt as we want. We have some motors over here we just stuck down so that we can make some pumps and a few things. We have as many red and blue inserters as we want. Green ones we can't get yet. That's going to require red circuits, which probably we should get around to very shortly. And what do we need for blue belt? Lubricant. That means we're actually good to go on that front. We just got to run the lubricant somewhere through here. We left ourselves some space. I think we can... Let me reverse engineer this. Actually, how much these things take? They take tungsten plate. Okay, you're a little bit down the road, but might as well hook these up now. You can go... Yeah, both of them. And that one. Oh, and... Yeah, this might take a second. This actually worked out pretty good. We now got blue transport belt on. That's, actually, that makes our lives a hell of a lot simpler. We can just put blue transport belt everywhere now. Should really get around to that green stuff pretty soon as well. Yeah, I am liking this little layout. It's not the most efficient thing by any means, but it does make it quite easy to expand, which I am a big fan of for now. Alright, how are you looking? Heavy oil maxed out. Light oil is going up. Lubricant is good. Water is good. Petroleum's a little bit slow, but that's fine. We're not really in a big rush on the petroleum front, to be honest. We're only going to need it for plastic. Actually, you know what? Red circuits are next up. They're basically the main stopgap for everything else, so we're going to need to make ourselves a whole bunch of plastic. Oof, and red is usually a very, very big build, isn't it? They're incredibly slow. Yeah, 6 seconds crafting time. Even with the bonus from the electromagnetic plant, we're going to want to, like, speed beacon and module these quite heavily. Ooh. 1 second. I would like to take all of your finest accumulators, sir. And now we would like to try finishing this. We've got... Yeah, we don't have enough to finish it, but we'll definitely get more than a few done. How are we looking on the power front? Power-wise... We're draining these, but... Yeah, we're not even going down halfway. We can definitely get a little bit more generous with speed and productivity. So the last thing left to do to make sure that we're sort of mostly sustainable here is just get red circuit production up and running. That will get us logistics robots, which will allow us to expand this further. It'll also allow us to get our hands on bulk inserters. There's a bunch of things that are kind of locked behind red circuits, including... Where is it? Even express splitters are locked behind red circuits. So, considering how much space it takes up, we might just do a little out-of-the-way little production facility, because it doesn't actually require that much. Well, it does require a lot, but this planet makes it very easy to do it. So, red circuits, all they require, plastic, copper, cable, and electronic circuits, right? So plastic, all we need is the petroleum and coal. We got both of those right close by here because we're already using them in this section. Then copper cable. We just pump some magma out of the ground. Done. We got our copper cable sorted. And then finally, you got your green circuits. Green circuits just require more copper cable and some iron plate. Copper cable we're already making, and the iron plate we can just, well, pump out of the ground as well. So we just have to combine these with a little bit of a calculator to figure out, well, how much of this we actually want to produce. But first up, even more accumulators. Do we have enough? I think we might be just shy. Yeah, never mind. We still have 60 more to go. And once we get those installed, that will stop that annoyance. Anyway, over here, let's install this real quick. I've actually blasted a bunch of area here free already. This cliff explosives is one of the main reasons to come to this planet. It just makes your life so much easier when building. Alright. This is, hopefully it works. If it just works, we could just duplicate it and keep using it again and again. But, iron, look, right. This makes your copper. This makes your iron, well, the liquid version of it. This turns the liquid into the actual solid plates. This turns the liquid copper into the actual coils. And this one here is direct inserting into this sucker. Just churning out a bunch of electronic circuits. Where is our iron plates? Are you guys... Mind to speed them up a bit with some speed beacons and things. Actually, 1 second. Yeah, I think a few speed beacons would not go astray right here. Perfect. So that should keep them moving a little bit faster. Now we do need to get... Oh, yeah. This up and running. This is plastic. Why is plastic not moving? We've got coal. We don't have petroleum gas. Why not? Oh. I've messed up somewhere, haven't I? Yep. 1 second. Because I moved this whole thing a bunch over. Right, so this produces the plastic. And yeah, we'll probably speed that up a little bit as well. But once we figure out exactly where these are supposed to be going, you're supposed to be like right there. Okay, that maximizes plastic quite nicely. Plastic comes down. Ooh, actually, wait. Whole thing we can do here, we will do you like that, and output priority is to the left. Make sure it spreads out. So this plastic comes down here, and this is belt weaving. This red belt comes down and pops in and out. It's dropping off plastic to all of these red circuit production facilities. And then what happens is the green circuits that come out of this, they're belt weaved in with blue belt. So they pop all the way along here feeding all of these. So that's how they get their plastic and their green circuits. And then the copper cable is also belt woven. Comes out of down here. This goes across and... oh, where is it? Damn it, I've lost track of it. Okay, I built it and I still can't remember. The blue belt pops across here. This blue belt carries the copper cable along to feed everything. And the red belt carries the output. The red belt carries the red circuits, I suppose. And then they pop out over here, which we are going to feed back into our system. Actually, I should probably do this in reverse. Where do we want this coming in? Over here should be fine-ish. Oh, and we should probably maybe do a little bit of belt fooey to make sure it... yeah, there we go. You can go like that. Perfect. Nicely spread out. Now, we don't really need to sort of plug this into any building in specifically, but what we will be doing... give me you. We'll just pop it down to, say, about there, and then we'll just feed it into a chest. Passive provider chest, why not? And nope, don't need a stack inserter, it's not going to be... damn it. You know what, we will put it down one section so we don't even have to install anything new. Done, and bulk inserter. Oh, stuff already requires... oh yeah, we've actually built stuff that already requires red circuits. Whew. What that means as well is that we can now start making other chunks of the build. Okay, this will allow us to build logistical robots. It will also allow us to build stack inserters. We no longer need to depend on our home base for those. At the same time, we can also start building beacons as well. We're going to have to get into blue chips as well, but the main things we want to get out of here is get ourselves a mall up and running, get ourselves all of the bits and bobs... well, first, all the bits and bobs need to expand this, then get them all finished. Then there's three main items we definitely have to be producing here in substantial quantities. Those items in no particular order are blue circuits, low density structure, and rocket fuel. Because all of those will be required to fuel the rocket silos that are going to launch all this stuff into space. There's no point being able to build all this stuff if we can't launch large quantities of into space simultaneously. With the wrong button. We're going to need to... where is it? Ah, yes, Aquilo. We need to colonize Aquilo, and for that we basically have to import everything. Like if you look here, it's got ice and things on it, but there is no, say, look at Unavis. There's no iron, copper, coal, oil, anything like that. So basically there's no way to start up. Even on Gleave, you can get iron bacteria that turn into iron and copper bacteria that turn into those different things. Over here you get all the basic resources you want, including the magma. This, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to get iron or copper here, which means you can't trap yourself there. And we're going to need rocket ships and all sorts of things to take it out, as in rockets just to even get to the location. But that's sort of what we're scaling up to. So I'm thinking we're probably going to have a couple of red circuit builds. We're going to need a lot of red circuits because we need those for the blue. So a lot of red, a lot of blue, and a lot of scaling up. Well, there's our first logistics robot. We're going to need, though, to scale this up an awful lot more and put in a bunch of extra things and bits and bobs. And, ooh, actually, that reminds me, you need a little bit... so no, we got plenty of plastic. Guys over here. Okay, a little better. We spread out some of those speed modules just to speed everything along nicely. I'm pretty sure that's not going to help our power grid. Let's have a quick last check here to make sure that we're not... ooh. Okay, we might need to expand out our solar. I think we're starting to redline our grid just a scooch. Oopsie. Oh, damn. I think, yeah, we just... ooh, nope. Oh, yeah, we redlined the grid. Just took everything offline, but only slightly. And then the power is pulling us back out of it again. Oh my god, that's insane. Right. We need to double up on solar post-haste. Might need to change the ratios of accumulators as well. How many solar panels we got? Yes. Yes, we do. Okay. Yeah, this turns out to be a reasonably quick fix. We haven't automated solar output yet. Oh, and I've also turned on the grid. This is designed to fit in a 3x3 grid. I really should have put the other one in that. You know what? Doesn't matter. Soon we'll have enough power to keep our current build going, and then we'll just have to make sure to stay on top of it. By connecting both of those grids together, I think we should be fine from now on, at least for a while. Yeah, we still need 161 more accumulators and 2 more solar panels. Damn it. Yeah, it's perfect. We don't even get past the halfway point before the sun kicks back in again. Nights here are really short. Alright, where were we? Oh, yes, we're an hour into the video, and we're still not done with what we initially set out to do. Well, okay. We've got a chunk of them all done. This actually sets us up quite nicely. We've got more than enough blue belt come in. Like, this whole thing can sustain itself quite handily. I gotta admit, this, like, building on Vulcanus is just a joy. Just like pumping... Oh, just thinking, like, just say you're building a mega base. What you could do, once you get access to landfill, is build around magma. Like, that way you just landfill over everything. Well, you need to get to Aquila first. And then anytime you need iron or copper for anything, you just basically plop down a liquid pump. So you can basically landfill over the bits you want to build buildings on, leave the magma where you can pump out stuff to just, like, dump iron and copper anywhere in the middle of a build. You will have to dispose of some rocks and stuff, but who cares? You can just dump the trash in here. And we should probably start collecting some of this dirt and turning it into landfill as well. We're going to need a bunch of that. But that's going to be all for the next episode. Next episode, we're going to try and max this place out. Just get all of them all finished, then get ourselves, about, say, a dozen rocket silos just to make sure that this place can quickly and efficiently restock cargo ships. That way, when we go to Aquila, we won't have to worry about getting bottlenecks. And we have 87... No, we do not have 87. More accumulators, more power, more everything. Yeah, this is the Factorio I recall. And the worst bit is, even though this is, like, pretty, you know, it's starting to grow a bit, once we gain access to the final tech, we'll have to redesign everything. Also, I think I'm going to redesign this red off screen. I don't think it's properly expandable, but I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of work on it. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed. Good luck.